I forgot who it was. Somebody yesterday mentioned about crime. So I thought we'd do a little bit about the Essex boys. Who should we talk about? Pat Tate or Tony Tucker? Or should we talk about the victims of these monsters? Because that's what they were, guys, at the end of the day. Monsters. Steroid-induced monsters. I've no doubt at one point in time they're probably decent people. Well, I know Craig Rolfe. I know he was a decent person. And I know Pat Tate. He was once a decent person. As for Tony Tucker, I don't really know. I hear a lot of stories about Tucker. Like he was a right fucking moron right from the start. Do you know what I mean? Bullying people and putting it right on people. Even the female bar staff and that. All very scared of Tucker. As well as, what's his name? Old Bernie. Scaring all the bar staff. I think the bar girl said the only one that, it was Colton, was the only one that didn't really scare her. He obviously come across a bit normal. Whereas, obviously, Tucker came across a lot more scary, intimidating, I can imagine. Yeah, but well, I guess the people that did it, in my opinion, if you got an opinion, write it down in the chat room here, or if you got any questions. I reckon the people that did do it did do it. I think they got the right people for it. I think the only reason there's a big outcry about it is because of all the movies and all the publicity that goes around with it all. And there's a few reasons why I think it was them. Probably the main one being when they were first nicked. Well, throughout the whole process, they've never ever give their side of the story as to their alibis, as to where they were. They first, right, only mention the alibis when they've been nicked, when they've got to court, all the years after. Surely, right? If you're pulled in for a murder and you've got an alibi, you'd be giving it to them, mate, proper. You would be. You would be getting that alibi out of your mouth and out into the open. You wouldn't sit there and shut up shop. Do you know what I mean? Or you might do until your solicitor or something arrived, but not to the length of until you've gone back to till it's actually gone to court. That's definitely ringing alarm bells. Because if you had an alibi, mate, you'd be spared, especially for murder as well. Do you know what I mean? It's quite a heavy charge, isn't it? In my world, I think you'll be spurting out your alibi, big style. And obviously they ain't said a word. As for the phone evidence, I think that's quite shaky because I believe that that's like one of the first ever cases to use that kind of cell net evidence and all that stuff. So at the time of that kind of evidence being put forward, it was very early stuff. Do you know what I mean? Early, well, what's the word I'm looking for? It was sort of early in the development of that kind of technology, if you get me. Obviously now it's a lot more with GPS and that, and they pinpoint exactly where you are. Do you know what I mean? A lot different nowadays. I believe even if you turn all your on your mobile, a lot of criminals now turn off their locations, think that they're all hidden up. You ain't hidden up at all, I don't think. But yeah. Do I think that, what's his name? The bloke that's still in there for it. He's got dementia, and he, and all sorts, man. That's just like the craze and all that again, isn't it? And who's that other guy they've got locked up? That right side, that right nutter. Well, he was a nutter. I think the system turned him into a nutter. What's his name? Charles Bronson. That Charles, whatever his name is. I believe he only went in there for an armed robbery years and years ago. But I think he's committed so many offences in there, which is why he's in there so long. But it still seems quite crazy. Yeah, they let all these. Well, they have. They've let bombers and that out again to bomb again, and rapists out to rape again. Yet people, you know what I mean? Yeah, old men with diseases don't get a chance. Yet they're knocking on death's door. Yet the government and the powers that be, let's keep them there, man. Like the craze, do you know what I mean? They were just old codgers, man, at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Well, especially when you see paedophiles and that, getting smaller sentence, like obviously the craze got 30 years and that, for killing other criminals, which was quite crazy, in my opinion. It weren't like they were snuffing out just innocent people. These were other every people that obviously they were wiping out. I believe that obviously the craze went down for what they did go down for, like the McVitie murder and all that. But I believe that there's a lot more that the craze, a lot more debt, a lot more people out there. That are, do I love Jesus? That is that I'm being asked there. Do I love Jesus? Um, yeah, I guess I'd have to say yes. Whether I believe, well, yeah, I obviously believe in Jesus. He existed, and on my birth certificate, I'm a Church of England, which is a Christian organisation. So I guess I do love Jesus. Yes. In answer to that one. Anyway, what was I talking about? The craze. Yeah. It's quite sad, really, when they let all the paedophiles and all the bombers back out. Yet they, I'm a strong believer in rehabilitation, man. Not just incarcerating people and just locking up the door and letting them out a few years later. It's not really going to cure them, is it, or help them? I'm a strong believer in, and God bless you too. Thank you. I'm a strong believer in rehabilitation, guys. Actually helping people. Do you know what I mean? Curing the issue. But anyway, I'm going to get any rain tonight. I went to the shop earlier and it was raining a little bit. Anyway, what's my battery on? 91%. Anyway, I'll be back later. Whatever you're doing, everybody, have a good evening.